and welcome to this championship game of the North Shore Classic featuring the Wimberley Texans and the Burleson Elks. As we'll get started here with a tip-off, lands into Paul Mendoza's hands every day of this tournament, Thursday, Friday, and today. We've brought you every single game here on Viking Sports Network. Nathan Baker starts us off with a 3 for Wimberley. We've brought you every single game of this North Shore Classic, and today, right now, is the final one. Championship game here between the 1 and the 2 seed. Both teams went undefeated in pool play and in the bracket yesterday. Get to play one game today, and it means everything here in Lago Vista, the North Shore Classic. Day 3 starts off with a banger, a 3 from Nathan Baker. And another 3, this time from the Elks, won't go. And a whistle. We'll have a travel there, be turned over. Paul Mendoza will bring it across. He's had a couple big days in the tournament. Nathan Baker gives it back to Mendoza. He drives in, gives it to Malone. Baker, another 3 off the back. Won't go, and it will land into Jeremiah Young's hands. And the 3 from Ricarian Henderson is good. That'll tie it up. A 3 for each team to start this game. Nathan Baker in the paint with his right hand. Brings it up for 2. Henderson to bring it across. Emstick. Jacob Emstick gives it back to Ricarion Henderson. In the corner. Henderson to Silva. His 3 won't go. Rebounded by Reese Wortham. Spin move on Henderson in the short corner to the other corner. Won't go. And the rebound will land into Harrison's hand. Another turnover. Layup off the glass, rebounded by Mendoza, and he'll put it back to extend the lead. Burleson, the 1 seed in this tournament based off of point differential. Wimberley, the 2 seed, also number 10 team in the state. Almost suffered a heartbreaker to Gateway, but came out with it yesterday. And it'll be turned. Will not be turned over. It will stay Burleson ball. In backcourt, Henderson puts it across the line near the Wimberley bench. Drives into the elbow. Up to Harrison, back to Henderson. Mishandles it. Wortham, long pass to Mendoza, and he puts up the finger roll. And we'll have a quick timeout taken by Burleson. Two threes, 1 from each team to start this championship game off, and then it's been all Wimberley, all Paul Mendoza from there on. About 20 seconds left, and we'll take a short break here. Silva to Henderson. Up to Jones, his first time in the game. Slaps it over to Henderson. Finds Silva in the corner. Short corner to Young. Finds Jones in the paint. He goes off the glass for 2. That'll add 2 to Wimberley. A block on Peacock. Peacock in the corner. Pump fakes the 3. Drives in instead. Goes off the glass. And it'll be called with a charge. Offensive foul for Wimberley, their second of the game so far. Burleson tried to get going a little too quick there. About 13 seconds left. Down to 10. Opportunity for one more shot. Silva sends it over to Jones near the Wimberley bench. Jones steps up. Pump fakes. Too young for the shot. Won't go. Mendoza does not have time. And that will be an end to the first quarter. Score of 13-5 in favor of the Burleson Elks. We'll take a quick break here as we head into the second quarter. Buzzer will sound and we will come back to the championship game of the North Shore Classic. Day 3, we've brought you every single one of this tournament here on Viking Sports Network, and this will be the final one. Championship game between the Wimberley Texans and the Burleson Elks, the 2 seed versus the 1. Burleson down 13-5. 3 from Harrison. Won't go. Rebounded by Holden Crawford. Josh Jones on him. Crawford gives it over to Mendoza. Mendoza has 6 today for Wimberley. Wants 3 more. Doesn't go. Baker with the other 7 for rebounds. Wortham to Malone. Back to Wortham. Finds Crawford, short corner, and he'll be called with the offensive foul. Another charge on Wimberley. Josh Jones brings it across the line. Jones, nice find to Silva in the paint for 2. As they'll get their first points of the second quarter. Only down 6 now. Baker pass to Crawford in the paint. Goes up for the layup, doesn't go. Gets the rebound. Baker to Wortham for 3. Doesn't go. And we'll have a whistle as it goes over the backboard. And it will be Burleson basketball. Henderson gives it over to Josh Jones. Josh Jones, short jumper, doesn't go. And it will land out of bounds. Sub coming in for the Texans. Silva finds Harrison in the corner for three, doesn't go. Young goes up for the rebound. Wortham gives it off to Baker. Finds Crawford. Wortham up top. Jacob Poole just checked into the game. He gives it over to Mendoza. Long pass to Crawford. Short corner for Wortham. Baker up for three. Doesn't take the opportunity. With his back turn, tries to find some space. Jacob Poole drives in. Spin move. Pass to Baker. Doesn't go. Tries to slap it over to Poole. It'll be intercepted by Josh Jones. Rolling on the ground. Poole gets on it, gives it to Crawford. He finds Paul Mendoza. Mendoza to Wortham near the Burleson bench. Jacob Poole trying to find Mendoza. Gets it knocked away by Silva into the hands of Josh Jones. Harrison goes up for the shot, doesn't go. Rebounded by Young. Henderson takes the three, and the three takes him. 13-10 here in this one. We have a timeout taken by the Wimberley Texans. We will come back shortly after this timeout. And we will come back after that timeout from the Wimberley Texans. Just over 5 minutes left to go in the first half. Wimberley up 13-10. Reese Wortham, Nathan Baker. Paul Mendoza takes the three, and he'll get it. Three for Paul Mendoza. Josh Jones over to Henderson. Henderson puts a move on the defender up to Jeremiah Young. He gives it back to Jones. Short corner. Henderson for three. Doesn't go. And Mendoza goes up for the rebound. Almost gets it taken away. Wortham over to Nathan Baker. Mendoza in the corner. Tries to find some space. Doesn't get that. Knocked away by Aiden Rocha, just checking into the game for the Elks. Wortham on the sideline. Takes a deep three. Rims out. Jeremiah Young bounces on it. Henderson to Jones on the far side. Jeremiah Young. Rocha up top. Back to Henderson. Trying to find separation. Henderson nowhere to go. Bounces it to Jones. Back to Henderson. Jeremiah Young takes the three off the rim and will go out of bounds and into the hands of the Texans. Jack Malone checking into the game, taking Nathan Baker out. Nathan Baker with 7 points, and the Elks will take a timeout. And we will take another short break here. Jones at the wing. Silva up top. Finds Henderson near the Wimberley bench. Back up to Jones. Steps up. Henderson pump fakes the three in the short corner. Jeremiah Young tries to go to the other side. Instead sails it out of bounds. Malone goes to the sideline. Gives it to Mendoza. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Wimberley up 18-10. Mendoza, deep three. Knocks it through. He's got 10 today. Jones to Silva. Tries to spin around Hopkins. Jeremiah Young. Silva steps up. Gives it to Rocha, short corner. Trying to find somebody. Gets it knocked away. Out of Jeremiah Young's hands. Sub coming in for Wimberley, Jacob Poole checking out Camden Hopkins. We carry on Henderson for Burleson at the end line. Rocha corner, gives it to Henderson. He spins out of it. Henderson steps up for the jumper. Goes off the rim a couple times. Rocha fights for it, puts it up, doesn't go. Malone will end up with it. Gives it over to Mendoza under a minute. And we'll have a foul. Burleson's first foul. Reese Wortham with under a minute to go. Tries to find Baker. Gets it knocked away by Jeremiah Young. Young gives it to Jones, who gives it to Henderson. In the corner, knocked away by Nathan Baker. Goes up. Puts up the floater for two there. Wimberley up 13 now, 30 seconds left. Henderson to Young, short corner to Silva. Silva to Jones. Jones steps up. Passes it to Silva underneath. Rolls around into Henderson's hands, and he'll have a nice two from the elbow there. Baker from the free throw line goes up with the finger roll, rolls off the glass. Rocha with the rebound. Shot from Henderson. Will not go. And we will head into halftime with a score of 23-12 in favor of the Wimberley Texans. We'll take a nice little 8-minute break here in this final game of the North Shore Classic between the Wimberley Texans and the Burleson Elks. We will be back. And we are back here in this championship game of the Lago Vista North Shore Classic. Score of 23-12 in favor of the Wimberley Texans, beating the 1 seed Burleson Elks. We brought you every single game of the North Shore Classic here on Viking Sports Network. And with this being the final one, a long 3 days of basketball, but a great 3 days. We'll get set to kick this second half off. Final 16 minutes. It will start with a Wimberley basketball. Up 11. And we'll get this started with a Wortham inbound to Mendoza. Finds Malone. Baker up top. Back to Wortham. Circling around to Mendoza. Behind the back. Tries to... Crawford with his back turned off the glass. Won't go. Rebounded by Rocha. Henderson to Silva. Short corner. Tries to find Harrison in the corner. Taken away by Jack Malone. Reese Wortham bringing it across the line. Puts a move on Henderson. To his right. Goes off the glass, and he'll find two there. Get this scoring started in the second half. Harrison at the wing near his own bench. Silva to Henderson, drives into the short corner. Pass to Young, off his legs, able to recover. Back to Henderson, short corner, nowhere to go with it. He drives in, up top to Harrison. Corner, Silva, 4-3. Off the rim, rebounded by Young. Held a little bit. Harrison fakes it. One more pass to Rocha. He goes off. And he'll add two to his day, his first points. Aiden Rocha checked into the game in the second quarter, hasn't left since. Mendoza for three. He'll airball as Young will box out. And it'll be out of bounds on the Texans. Henderson to Young. Back to Henderson. Under 6.5 to go in the third. Harrison near his bench. Finds Rocha with his foot on the line. Malone will give it up to Paul Mendoza. Malone up top. Finds Baker. Back to Mendoza. He circles around. Gives it off to Wortham. Drives in. Tries to find Baker. Knocked away by Rocha. Out of bounds on him. Mendoza finds Baker for two. Josh Jones intercepted by Jack Malone. Malone 2-on-1 to Mendoza. He goes up for another two. 15-point lead, largest lead of the game for Wimberley so far. Jones jump pass to Harrison in the other corner. Harrison nowhere to go with it. Back up top to Henderson. Harrison at the wing. Young in the corner. Trying to find somebody. Back to Harrison. Miscommunication there. Ball going one way. Harrison going the other. Ball ends up out of bounds and will be turned over to Wimberley. Malone gives it over to Mendoza. Josh Jones will come to the scorer's table to check in for the Elks. Crawford to Mendoza. Up for two, down for none. Crawford to Wortham in the corner. Short corner jumper off the rim. Into the hands of Henderson. Jeremiah Young. Taken away by Reese Wortham. And he'll be fouled. Inbound from Paul Mendoza to Burleson Elks. Checking into the game Henderson and Jeremiah Young coming out. Pass to Baker at the wing. He takes the shot, won't go. Knocked back up, almost goes back in, and it'll be taken away. That's LeVar Flowers ending the game for the first time. Josh Jones trying to get past Mendoza, not making it easy for him. Silva drives in from the corner. Pass to Rocha, gets it knocked away into Flowers' hands for two. Long pass to Baker. He goes up for it. Rims out into Harrison's hands. He gives it off to Jones at the logo. Harrison steps up. Rocha mishandles it, and it lands in Jack Malone's hands. Baker steps in. Crawford up top to Reese Wortham. His pass sails out of bounds, trying to find Crawford again. And it will be Wimberley ball still after a tip from the Elks. Mendoza to Baker. Fadeaway jumper puts it in. Three and a half left to go. Silva for three. Rebound from Malone. Mendoza wasting time. Crawford goes up for a nice layup there. 17 points is the lead for the Texans. Largest deficit Burleson's faced all tournament. And that pass sails out of bounds, intended for Silva. And will be a timeout taken by the Burleson Elks. We'll take a quick break here. Score is 33-16 in favor of the Wimberley Texans. And we are back after that timeout from the Burleson Elks. 2:38 left in the third quarter of this championship game in the North Shore Classic. Wortham gives it over to Mendoza. He's had a big few days here in Lago Vista for the Texans. Back to Mendoza up top. Camden Hopkins. Reese Wortham from the logo steps up. Hopkins deep. Wortham long pass over to Mendoza. Corner to Nathan Baker. Mendoza drives in. Tries to find space. Hopkins up top to Reese Wortham. He steps into the paint. Short corner shot for Nathan Baker. He'll put it through. 19-point lead for the Texans. Just keep adding on. Josh Jones to bring it across the line at the logo. LeVar Flowers. over to Silva. Silva gives it over to Josh Jones. Josh Jones back up top to Flowers. Flowers steps up trying to find some space. Josh Jones drives in from the corner, goes up for the layup, and puts it through. Nathan Baker. Short jumper for Camden Hopkins off the rim, doesn't go, rebounded by Silva. Harrison will be called with a travel there. His pivot foot just dragged across the floor. And Harley Peacock will check into the game for the Texans and will take out Reese Wortham. Jack Malone to the sideline. Gives it up to Mendoza with a 17-point lead here in this game. Peacock near his own bench, over to Hopkins. Hopkins with his left hand into Baker's hands, puts up the layup, almost intercepted by Josh Jones, just lands right into Nathan Baker's hands for an easy two there. 40 seconds left in the third quarter. Back to a 19-point lead. LeVar Flowers bounces it to Harrison, knocked away by Camden Hopkins, into Josh Jones' hands, tries to toss it over to LeVar Flowers, intercepted by Harley Peacock, gives it over to Mendoza, goes up with his right hand on the left side, doesn't go. LeVar Flowers jumps back on it, over to Harrison, 4-3. Knocks out, rebounded by Aiden Rocha. Off the rim, taken by Harley Peacock. 5 seconds left in this one. One opportunity for a shot. Give it to Mendoza. Mendoza gives it to the rim. 40-18 here as we end this third quarter. Long three for Mendoza to end the third quarter. Now with a 22-point lead. Wimberley beating the 1-seed Burleson Elks. We'll take a quick break here as we head into the fourth quarter with a score of 40-18 here in this championship game of the North Shore Classic. And we are back here in the last 8 minutes of this championship game here in the Lago Vista North Shore Classic. Fourth quarter starting right now. LeVar Flowers for Burleson to bring it across the line. Gives it up to Emsley. LeVar Flowers tries to find Emsley again, gets it knocked away. Josh Jones, nobody to go to, finds LeVar Flowers back up top. Emsley in the corner, other corner to LeVar Flowers, gets taken away by Holden Crawford. Paul Mendoza, after hitting that long three to end the third quarter with it up top at the logo. Goes up to the pass to Crawford for an easy two there. Get the scoring started in the fourth quarter and extend their extremely large lead already. A 24-point lead here in the fourth quarter against the Burleson Elks, the 1 seed here in this tournament. Burleson, Josh Jones gives it over to LeVar Flowers. Flowers trying to find some space, and he steps out of bounds after some aggressive defense. Kind of pushes him out. Another turnover for the Elks. Mendoza. Camden Hopkins up top. Holden Crawford finds Peacock at the logo. Shows the shot, doesn't go for it. Camden Hopkins through the legs, steps into the lane, finds Baker under the rim, doesn't take the shot. Back up top to Peacock. They're just going to try to waste time here as much as they can. Peacock in the corner, Baker back up top to Hopkins. Hopkins drives in at the free throw line, gets it knocked away, and it will be out of bounds on the Elks. It will stay Wimberley ball. 6 minutes left to go in this one. Crawford gives it across the line to Mendoza. Mendoza at the logo trying to put a move on Josh Jones. Gives it up to Hopkins. Hopkins finds Peacock near the scorer's table. Peacock drives in, back up to Mendoza. Spin move, goes up for the finger roll, and will roll in. Another 2 for Mendoza there. He's had a great few days here at the North Shore Classic. LeVar Flowers over to Emsley, short corner. LeVar Flowers takes the 3 off the rim in the backboard into Nathan Baker's hands. Gives it up to Holden Crawford. Crawford over to Mendoza. Peacock near his own bench, 5 minutes left. And Hopkins will be fouled there. It will stay Wimberley ball as Harley Peacock will head to the sideline with under 5 to go in this game. Behind the line to Paul Mendoza. Both of these teams undefeated coming into this game. One team will come out undefeated. One team will come out with 1 loss on this tournament as Paul Mendoza goes up for the shot and gets fouled there. He'll have an extra free throw coming to chance at a 3-point play. He's already had a lot of points today, almost half of Wimberley's points. As a couple subs for Wimberley will check in Jack Malone, tagging out Nathan Baker. Reese Wortham, also at the scorer's table, will probably come in for Mendoza. Micah Birdsong also checking in. Mendoza will add on to his day with another point. He'll come to the bench. Already has 20. Four and a half to go. Peacock on the defensive. Gets in LeVar Flowers' way. Off of Aiden Rocha's foot into Peacock's hands. He'll handle it very nicely. Wortham trying to get around someone. Gives it up to Peacock again. Crawford back to Wortham, playing hot potato. Turns it over. Goes up for the block, and instead will result in 2 Burleson points. Andrew Mack with those 2 for Burleson. Peacock over to Wortham at the bench. Wortham drives in. Pass to Birdsong. Goes up for 2 there. 49-20, now a 19-point lead for the Wimberley Texans. Josh Jones gives it over to Emsley. Emsley mishandles it as he tries to drive in. and will give it up. Reese Wortham bringing it across the line. He'll be fouled there. Crawford will go to the sideline. Gives it over to Wortham. 3 minutes left to go. Wortham to Birdsong. Back to Wortham, trying to find separation. 3 guys on him. Gets it knocked away by Josh Jones. Josh Jones goes up with the hesitation off the glass and the rim. Back up. LeVar Flowers goes. He puts it through. Reese Wortham gives it over to Peacock. Aggressive defense right now from Burleson. Gets it across the line. 2.5 left in the game. Peacock back up to Wortham. Peacock to Crawford, to Birdsong, back to Crawford, back to Peacock, over to Wortham. Spins out of it. Wortham finds a lot of space, just going to run this one out. 2 minutes left. Could stand there all day. Milk the clock as much as they can. Crawford finds Wortham. Once again, see how much they can run down. Wortham goes up for the layup, and he'll be fouled. He'll actually get the offensive foul. Josh Jones at the logo, brings it across the line. Emsley steps up for 3. Goes over the backboard. And it will be Wimberley ball. Malone gives it over to Peacock. Under a minute and a half. 17-point game. Peacock running across. Peacock just trying to find some space. Get this down to a minute right now. Under a minute to go. Reese Wortham gets it knocked out of his hands. Josh Jones falling on it. Aiden Rocha. And we'll have a jump ball. And it will be Wimberley ball. Wortham heads to the end line with 50 seconds left. Trying to find someone. He gives it over to Crawford. Finds Peacock up top. And he will be fouled. Peacock on the sideline. Over to Crawford, 40 seconds left. Back to Peacock near his own bench. Peacock pass to Crawford, up top to Wortham. Running around as much as they can, 30 seconds left. Knocked out of his hands, LeVar Flowers gives it up to Emsley, goes up with the left hand, and he'll add 2 to his day. 49-24 now, 15 seconds left. Gonna run this down to the final zeros. Under 10 left to go. Rolls around for a bit, ends up in Birdsong's hands, and that'll do it. Wimberley coming out with this one, 49-24 in this championship game of the North Shore Classic. We thank you for watching every game here on the North Shore Classic here on Viking Sports Network. We will be back Tuesday night to bring you both girls and boys basketball at home against the Gerald Cougars. We thank you for watching the North Shore Classic here on Viking Sports Network. The Wimberley Texans come out as champions, and we will see you on Tuesday night. We thank you for watching.